How's it going, y'all? Welcome back to TUTV. My name's Jack.
And I'm Benji.
Benji, before we get started, I want to get to talk to you about pandemic life. Do you have a roommate to keep you company, or are you horribly sad?
I'm going to have to go. It's close to the horribly sad, yeah. No roommate.
No roommate?
Yeah. Is it even possible to have a roommate?
If you live in an apartment, you can have a roommate.
Yeah. I guess, kind of.
Honestly, yeah, I have a roommate in my apartment, but honestly, I think it'd be worse. It's worse to have him because he just berates me constantly. He's like, Kyle, if you're watching this, man, you gotta cut me some slack, bro.
Dude,
I got
Kyle,
nothing
what the
to do.
heck?
He's always judging me for eating at certain times of the day and, you know, waking up late. He's like my father.
I'll say that's why it's kind of nice not having this is my first semester not having a roommate. It's just kind of nice, you know, just being free. I'm like living my own life.
Are you like,
I can
like what do you get to do now that you don't have a roommate? Like you reaching out, you know, putting weird posters up and that kind of thing?
Well, I just have like more room for all my stuff, and I can like, you know, just eat loudly. I don't know.
Sweet.
It's a good life.
We'll talk more about it later.
Yeah.
We'll get into the show.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the episode.
Hello and welcome to TUTV News. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Will. Let's take a look at some of these week's stories.
North Carolina Attorney General warns voters not to follow President Trump's recent advice on Twitter about mail-in voting. Attorney General Josh Stein tweeted a quote, "Do not do what President directs," end quote. In response, Trump's advice about checking in to see if mail-in votes were counted instead of following up on a mail-in vote at an in-person polling place. Stein tells voters to simply make sure their vote is sent in early and to track it online with ballot tracks. Wow, that's nice. Stein went on to remind that voting more than once is a felony and limiting exposure to the public is always advisable. Oklahoma voters should remember that the deadline to register to vote is Friday, October 9th, and the deadline to request an absentee ballot is Tuesday, October 27th.
Compared to the United States, the number of COVID-19 infections and deaths in Canada have been consistently lower since the start of the pandemic. This past Friday marked the first time in 6 months that the number of COVID-related deaths reported in Canada remained unchanged. Similarly to the United States, the number of coronavirus cases in Canada steadily increased until July when they began to plateau. As opposed to the United States, Canada's government was able to ramp up coronavirus testing much earlier, which led to better methods of isolation and contact tracing. Canada owes a recent spike in cases to the fact that schools are beginning to open back up and lockdown restrictions are beginning to be eased.
Following public outrage after a ruling that would have allowed Chinese mining companies to excavate for gold and coal in Zimbabwe, the country has taken large steps to ban mining in all its national parks as well as most of its riverbeds. Weeks of campaigning against the ruling finally came to a head, with the government recognizing that the excavation will cause harm to the local ecosystem, animals, and habitats. Damage to Zimbabwe's tourism industry was also cited in the ban. Tourism is one of the country's most up-and-coming industries. For some Zimbabweans, the government ruling has not done enough to help the conservation fight, and there are efforts to ensure that the government mandate becomes permanent, enshrined in law to prevent future issues.
Over the weekend, workers in Charlottesville, Virginia, removed a statue of a Confederate general from the site of a white nationalist rally 3 years ago. The 900-pound statue, entitled "At Ready," was taken down on Saturday to the cheers of over 100 mass onlookers and community members. The statue had been standing outside the Albemarle County Courthouse for 111 years. The Charlottesville City Council has also voted to remove nearby statues of Confederate leaders Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson, but was presented with a lawsuit by a small group that is trying to keep the statues up. The case is headed to Virginia's Supreme Court and could take months to be resolved.
This past weekend saw the opening of shops at Mother Road Market, a new 5-store complex that has been added onto the site. Previously, Mother Road Market was able to host an assortment of local restaurants and food stands, but now the building will contain more retail-oriented stores such as a bookstore, a coffee shop, rotating pop-up shop designed to be a space for local artists and entrepreneurs. Elizabeth Ilson, president of Lubbock Taylor Family Foundation, states the quote, "Tulsa Market District's goal is to be a hub for artisans, artists, and makers while supporting the vision for equitable growth of our neighborhood," end quote. Each new stores within Mother Road Market are now housed in the renovated and historic building located on 11th and Lewis. All right, well, I guess that's all the stories for the week. The Canada case is pretty impressive. It's nice to see that other countries can keep their cases down.
That's true, but Canada may have a lower number of COVID cases, but do you know what else they have?
What's that?
They have milk in bags. So
milk
I think
in bags. Wow.
Yeah,
all
so
right.
I think it's kind of a huge trade-off there. They may have lower numbers of COVID, but they don't have milk in cartons like the rest of us.
Well, I mean, pick your poison. COVID cases or milk in bags. See you guys next week.
Thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Today's interview, we have Myranda New, who works for the Collegian. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Awesome. Can you just give the audience a little background on yourself? Can you talk about your year? What's your major?
Yeah, so I'm a sophomore mechanical engineering major with a minor in mathematics, which sounds pretty crazy to be working on a newspaper, but my true passion is with writing.
That's awesome. What is your role in the Collegian?
So I am the variety editor, and I started out as a staff writer last year, but I applied for this position, and I'm very happy that I was selected for it, so now I'm the editor, one of the section editors.
That's awesome. So as you said, you started working for the Collegian last year as a writer?
Yes. So when I came to TU, I looked at their list of clubs, made a whole list of everything I wanted to join, and I knew that I wanted to write for the paper. So in the fall, I joined as a staff writer. I wrote about a dozen articles in the fall. In the spring, I wrote more like 8 because I had physics lab the same day that the Collegian met, which is unfortunate, but from that, I then just applied to be an editor because I was recommended by many of the seniors who thought I was very passionate, that I would do a great job, and they said, you should apply, even though I had no idea what section I wanted, because I was like, oh, there's got to be people more qualified for this than me. I'm just an engineer. But I was chosen to be section editor for Variety, and it's amazing.
That's awesome. So did you have any journalism experience prior to joining the newspaper?
I did. So when I was in high school, my high school paper, the Haas Hall Herald, won awards in the state of Arkansas, actually, at the Arkansas Scholastic Press Association. So I wrote on that in 11th grade. I was just a staff writer, but I actually won second runner-up Writer of the Year in the state of Arkansas, as well as Best Review, and one of my news articles also won an award, though I can't remember what that one was. So even though I've never been an editor before, I have written before for a paper, so I at least was familiar with AP style.
That's awesome. With writing, how has that influenced you as an editor so far this semester?
So knowing how like articles should be written and having my own experience writing articles, when I see other people's, it helps me figure out the flow. It helps me figure out what kind of details they should add. Mainly when I edit things because I'm a very long-winded speaker, but in the best way, I like to say. So that's mainly the thing I look at. I'm always like, I feel like you can add more detail here. I feel like you can do this to help with your flow. And that's mainly what I've gained from being a writer myself.
That's awesome. With COVID happening and changing for everyone for whatever they are working on, how has that changed the Collegian? Were you guys able to adjust easily? Was it harder? How has that process been?
I'm actually very impressed with how we switched everything over. I don't know if the editors who have been here for a while are as impressed, but with me coming in not knowing how it's supposed to be normally, I thought this was an amazing switch. Granted, we can't all be sitting in the office on the couches together pitching ideas, but at the same time that we would have met Mondays at 5 p.m., each section editor sends out a long email with all of their pitches, and all you have to do is just email them back, say what you want. And I mean, we already edited articles over Google Docs, so that's literally been the only change mainly. Instead of meeting in person, we email our pitches. But also, the paper is not a physical paper this year. So over the weekends, the editors don't get together and format it and figure it out and figure out the spacing. We just put everything on our website. And so that is probably the main difference. I am not learning how to use all of that Adobe software and the layout and the formatting, which I'm okay with because this semester it just allows me to learn basics of editing.
That's awesome. If someone is interested in joining the Collegian, how are they able to do that?
So if you want to join the Collegian, you should email Emily Every. She is our head editor, and if you just go on your UTulsa Outlook email and type in her name, it'll come up. Email her, say that you're interested, and she will pass out your email to all the section editors because she will most likely ask you what sections are you interested in, and then you'll get their pitch lists every Monday. Or you can email me and I can send all of your information to her. Same thing.
That is awesome. Can you tell the audience what your email is if they want to email you first?
Yes, my email is mln1386@utulsa.edu.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for being here, and we're going to go back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sports.
To TUTV Sports, I'm Ryan Bennett.
And I'm David Gentleman, and let's get right into the segment.
The U.S. Open weekend and featured a lot of exciting tennis. The men's final was between Dominic Thiem and Alexander Zverev. Controversy sparked this season when Novak Djokovic was a front-runner in the tournament, was disqualified after striking a running judge with a ball on the neck. The women's final concluded with Naomi Osaka defeating Victoria Azarenka to win her third career Grand Slam. After the match, Osaka paid tribute to the late Kobe Bryant, tweeting out that wearing his jersey, quote, gave her strength, end quote.
The NBA playoffs are moving on to the conference finals, but the semifinal round was not shy of excitement. The matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors went all the way to Game 7, but in the end the Celtics took the series 4-3. The series between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat ended in 5 games after an injury to Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now Eastern Conference Finals will feature a best-of-7 between the Heat and Celtics in the West. The Los Angeles Lakers and Houston Rockets series continued in a 5-game with the Lakers' decisive victory in Game 5 off the Rockets. The Nuggets and Clippers series is still ongoing after the Nuggets won in Game 6, forcing a Game 7. With the NBA Finals swiftly approaching, tune into TUTV each week for updates.
The final day of the WNBA regular season was full of excitement with 3 matchups which were postponed earlier in the week. With 7 of the 8 playoff seeds already determined, the final seat will be given to the Washington Mystics if they win against the Atlanta Dream. If they happen to lose, they can still clinch the spot if the Dallas Wings lose to the New York Liberty. If the Dallas Wings manage to beat the New York Liberty, accompanied by a Mystics loss, then Dallas will secure the final playoff spot. Sunday also featured a highly anticipated matchup between the Las Vegas Aces and the Seattle Storm. Many speculate that this will be the WNBA's finals matchup.
The NHL playoffs have continued on to the conference finals, but the semifinals were full of great hockey in their own right. The series between the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche went to 7 games and was full of action, where the Stars ultimately won in Game 7. The Las Vegas Golden Knights were in an intense series with the Vancouver Canucks, a team many saw as a dark horse through the playoffs. Even though the Canucks lost the series to the Golden Knights, they took the game to 7. The New York Islanders were also in an intense series with the Philadelphia Flyers. In a shocking upset, the Islanders defeated the Flyers in 7 games. The final matchup of semifinalists was between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Boston Bruins. The Lightning swiftly defeated the Bruins in 5 games. We will continue to update you as the conference finals continue.
The Tulsa Oilers, Tulsa's local minor league hockey team, has had some exciting news this offseason. First and foremost, they signed a 3-year affiliation deal with the Anaheim Ducks. Most affiliation deals are for 1 year, so this shows that the Ducks are confident in the abilities of the Oilers. The Oilers also have promising returning players, such as Charlie Samper, who led the team last season with 21 goals. The returning goalie, Devin Williams, averaged 2.12 goals allowed per game, which led the league in the 2018-19 season. The team plans on playing its full 72-game season starting December 4th, so be sure to tune in for updates.
So, honestly, I've known nothing about sports, so I find the Nuggets to be a really funny name, you know? It always gets me hungry and also semi-interested in sports, but, you know, not too much. How about you?
Yeah, I remember being a kid, and my mom had a Denver Nuggets shirt, and every time I saw it, I would always get hungry and ask to go to McDonald's, and she got really tired of it, and she doesn't wear that shirt anymore for that exact reason.
Yeah, that's a lot of McDonald's, you know? It's kind of expensive these days, though.
Pretty is. Well, that's all the time we have for TUTV Sports today.
We'll see you next time.
Welcome back to TUTV Entertainment. I'm Parker.
And I'm Hannah. Let's hop right into the news for this week.
AMC's popular television show, The Walking Dead, is finally coming to an end. Late last week, it was announced that the show's upcoming 11th season would be its last. Not all hope is lost for fans, though, as a number of spin-offs have been announced that'll keep The Walking Dead alive. The projects include a film focused on the show's original frontman, Rick Grimes, who is played by Andrew Lincoln, as well as 2 limited series. One of the limited series will focus on the fan-favorite duo of Carol, played by Melissa McBride, and Daryl, played by Norman Reedus. Despite the main series coming to an end, the show's creators have made it clear that there will be no shortage of The Walking Dead anytime soon.
Tulsa's Arts and Humanities Council, or AHA, is currently hosting a large-scale interactive art exhibition titled The Experience Imagine. This exhibition features 6 zones, each designed and built by a Tulsa-based artist. Each of these zones are interactive spaces featuring various immersive elements such as light, color, and sound. The experience was originally set to open in May of this year, but was postponed due to the coronavirus pandemic. AHA has set guidelines to ensure that our guests remain as safe and socially distant as possible while visiting the exhibits. Tickets are sold by the time slot, so reserve your spot ahead of time through the AHA website.
The Toronto International Film Festival, or TIFF, is kicking off the autumn film festival season in typical social distancing fashion. In-person screenings have been limited to smaller-scale outdoor and drive-in gatherings, as well as virtual screenings, to accommodate attendees outside of Canada. The film festival circuit has taken an unavoidable hit this year due to the ongoing pandemic, with many events having been canceled. Red carpet glitz and glamour aside, these festivals are crucial for the film industry. Many films are brought and sold through these events, and they serve as a jumping-off point for award seasons later in the year. The Toronto International Film Festival, though, is currently ongoing, with the final day taking place this Sunday, September 20th.
Living Arts of Tulsa is presenting a multimedia exhibition focused on indigenous languages. The exhibit features works compiled from various indigenous artists around Oklahoma. Titled Speak While You Can, the theme serves to express the importance of language within culture, specifically as it relates to the identity of Native American individuals. Due to generations of forced removal and oppression, many Native languages have disappeared over time, and a number still face extinction. Living Arts Gallery is open to the public Thursdays and Fridays, with Speak While You Can running until October 16th.
The Tulsa Library is holding a number of virtual events in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. This Saturday, September 19th, the Tulsa Library will be live streaming a discussion with notable Latin author Valeria Lucelli on her book, Lost Children Archives. An award-winning author of fiction and nonfiction, Lucelli has used her writing as a way to bring awareness to the ever-growing debate on the U.S. border crisis. Her latest novel, Lost Children Archives, was inspired by the controversial American policy of separating children from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border, a common theme within Lucelli's work. The Tulsa Library will be hosting Lucelli via Facebook Live from 5 to 6 p.m. So, Hannah, are you a big fan of the Grateful Dead? Big Deadhead?
I
meant to ask about The Walking Dead, by the way, not The Grateful Dead, but...
Well, I've been to the Grateful Head. That's a pizza place. I'm not a big zombie person, but I do like pizza restaurants. So
I think we can all get behind pizza.
Yeah.
So
Grateful Head more than Grateful Dead, or than Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, Grateful Dead,
Grateful Head.
There we go.
Yeah, I think we've got it.
Yeah.
Everyone go watch The Walking Dead and eat at the Grateful Head, which I think there is one in Oklahoma.
While
Pretty
listening
sure.
to the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, I think that is a good plan. That's what I'm going to do this weekend.
Same here.
Good.
Yes.
Since I have not watched The Walking Dead yet, so I'm going to begin it this weekend while eating pizza. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Parker, I'm glad we've got our plans made up. I hope that you guys have a great weekend and have a great rest of the show. I'm Hannah.
I'm Parker. We'll see you next week.
Road trip video, guys. I'm currently driving back to Dallas, back home, for Labor Day weekend. I just had one of the biggest burgers of my entire life. I went to Carl's Jr. for the very first time, and got like a huge burger, and I think I'm gonna die. I think I'm gonna die of cardiac arrest during this trip, during the drive. Hey! They don't want to be on video. Well, off we go, guys. Wish me luck on this journey. If my heart stops in the middle of the highway, you won't see me next week at TUTV, so I apologize in advance. Hey, this is my stoplight, buddy. Oh, we gotta go. Say bye. Bye. Say hi. Hi. What's your name? Teresa. Teresa, nice to meet you. I got anything to say? Where are you headed? Where you work? Well, have fun getting home. Stay safe. Good to meet you.
Let's throw away our phone. We can see stars from here.
This guy next to me just flipped me off.
In 12 miles,
Shut
keep left
up,
onto
I'm
Union
talking.
Turnpike South.
It's the last guy I tried to video. I asked him, hey, do you want to be in the video? And he just nicely, politely said, oh, no thank you. You didn't have to flip me off, man. It's the right way to do it. Just be nice about it, jeez. Bro, this street is just called A. It's literally just called A. was trying to get that lady's attention for like a minute straight. She didn't even look at me. Welcome to Texas, baby. Yeah! Say something to the camera, man. Texas, baby! Texas! Yes, sir! Hey, what's up, y'all? So, I was driving, got kind of bored, got kind of tired, so went ahead and pulled over to the side of the road. Just take a breather, stretch my limbs out a bit. There's the highway. I don't know if this is illegal or not. Welcome back, y'all. How'd you like that segment, Lily?
I liked it a lot. I think filming and driving is something we shouldn't do. So
I thought of that.
Okay.
Don't worry. I was looking at the road the entire time. Never looked at the camera. All right. It's the same thing as driving with.
So like, did you just like memorize where like to like film it, like the buttons?
I would just press the button, and then it's not that difficult. Let's ignore that for a second.
Okay.
I want to talk about the film festivals because I always thought, like, is it easy to get a film in a film festival? Can I just show up and give them a film, and if it's good enough, they'll put it in? Like, what would you put into a film festival if you made a film?
I don't know, to be honest. I feel like I would just like film myself doing random things. Like
a little vlog?
Well, not like a vlog, just me like pretending the camera's not there and then like look at it like dead in the eyes and then realize it's there and like look away. Like, you know when like an actor is like pretending, acting, and like they can't break the fourth wall and then they do and they just stare at the camera.
Yeah.
And then they just keep going.
It'd just be that a bunch of times?
Yeah, and it'd be like me like making my coffee, but then like having to like put it in the fridge and putting in like my Power Rangers water bottle to like hold it.
Stop right there.
What?
I'm in love with this. We need to make this a movie. This is incredible.
Thank you. What would you do?
I was thinking, I've always wanted to make a movie or a film with all monkey cast, like the entire cast monkeys. You know, like the opening scene of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Never seen it.
Everyone loves that scene, but what if it was real monkeys? Like it's a bunch of monkeys, but they're not real. They're actors, human actors.
So are they in like gorilla suits or are they like CGI?
No, they're in suits. They're in suits.
Okay.
But what if you did that whole film all monkeys?
I think that'd be interesting. I think it'd be a lot of money, but I think it'd be very interesting.
It wouldn't be that expensive. Just go to a local circus and say,
"Can
I rent some chimps from you?"
But if you get animals, you have to like, get them like trained. You know?
No, they can train themselves. They're monkeys. They're smart.
Yes, but also like I'm not an actor, so like if they hired me, I don't have like the skill to do it.
Well,
so it wouldn't be that good.
That's
so
why
I'm
the greatest director. Movie. That's why I'm the greatest director of our time. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I'm sorry that we're not all monkeys, but what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do about it?
Have a good one.
See you next week.